likely to change.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Nash against Hill. Pass to George. And he gets it to go. George has got 7 points. Toronto trailing. McGrady with the ball. Right side, Kemp. He feeds it to Jordan. Kemp dishes to Jordan. Clock at 4. Toronto needs to get off his shot. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. Well, the one word you can use to describe the Raptors postseason last year, disaster. I mean, Greg, nothing went right for them.
Yeah, I mean, after that great regular season, they were completely just manhandled by the Wizards, swept out of the first round in 4 straight.
Well, I tell you, the Raptors really were befuddled with how that series went. I mean, they just never got things going and became the first team to get swept with home court advantage in the playoffs since 2011.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And guys, you look at the Raptors last season and how they stumbled at times. You could see that they would have trouble in the postseason with the way they were constructed. I don't think anybody saw a sweep coming, but that's what it ended up being.
Now here is Hill. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Jordan with the rebound.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Nash outside. Back to Jordan. Fades. No luck. And Indiana will go the other way with it. George passes to Allen. Back to George. And here's Hill for 3. O'Neal with the rebound.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
McGrady kicks to Jordan. Back to McGrady. And off the glass. That one's good. McGrady's got his second basket of the night.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Hill kicks to George. 16 feet away. That's good.
It's like everybody is in a rhythm right now. Incredible stuff here early on.
Both teams playing downhill. You know, coaches say that all the time. You want to play downhill. Well, at some point you think somebody's got to cool off in this one, right?
Here's Jordan. Paul George making his last shot. That is good. Jordan's got 5 points so far. For Indiana, they've gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Outside, George down low. And it's sent back by O'Neal. And here comes McGrady leading the fast break. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tracy McGrady. That's his first foul. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Sean Kemp. Mahinmi's checked in for Indiana. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed it.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season. Chance now to see the numbers for Monte Ellis, how he performed last season. 8th in steals and amongst the league's top-tier scorers, top 20 in points per game.
And top 10 in steals, as you said last year, always a threat to cause a turnover.
Indiana's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Hill kicks to Ellis. He dishes it to Mahimi. Outside, George to the paint, and the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. Let's take a moment to look at the 2K leaderboard and see last year's high-scoring teams. In fourth, the Raptors.
This was one of the better scoring teams last year. They had a lot of different offensive weapons to choose from, and they knew exactly how to use them most effectively.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, I briefly spoke with Dwayne Casey, and of course, he said a big key for them will be trying to minimize Monte Ellis's impact offensively. He added, he's one of the best in the league at blowing by his defender and finishing at the rim. We've got to force him left, and then at the other end, make sure we go at him defensively and see that he expends some energy there as well. Kevin, defense not Ellis's strong suit. Seems like a smart plan.
Thanks again, Doris. Jordan dishes to Nash. Back to Jordan. With the fadeaway. That's a bucket. His third of the game. He shot the ball 7 times.
Yeah, quick trigger. And from that range, if he senses the defenders have backed off, forget about it.
And Hill has it in the corner. Here's the screen. And it's sent back by O'Neal. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Yao, he's checked in for the Raptors. Carter comes in for McGrady. Indiana also making some changes. Hill comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for Ellis. Here's Hill. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Again, missing Hill.
Not a quarter to remember as far as his offense is concerned.
Yeah, you know, he's not making any kind of impact for them at that end of the court right now.
They get the rebound, and he gets it to go. Now it's a 6-point Raptor lead.
So far, so good for them at the offensive end here in the early going.
Yeah, the great field goal percentage to start exactly what they were hoping for.
Here's Mahimi, and the rejection by Abdul-Jabbar. Toronto's gone 2 of 2 from 3-point range here in the first quarter. Abdul-Jabbar, a screen on Hill. Nash the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. The drive by Jordan, and Allen with the block. Here is Hill. Right side Hill. Here's Allen. Good, the assist goes to Hill. Now just a 2-point Toronto lead.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Yeah. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. Goes up and lays it nice and easy.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Now here is Hill. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Stuckey kicks to Hill. Stuckey a screen on Nash. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And it's Hill penetrating. Yao with the block. Fast break Toronto. The finish. And finish off by Carter.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. Here's Hill. The Raptors getting the bucket. He's looking for Mahimi and finds him. They set the pick. It's back to Hill. Inside and stolen by Yao. And Nash, here we go. Carter outside. Abdul-Jabbar, a screen on Hill. Carter dishes to Abdul-Jabbar. Nash outside. 5 to shoot. Teardrop shot. And Allen with the block. Allen with the screen for Hill. Stuckey outside. Lets it go with the 3. Rebound by Yao.
And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
Now here's Nash. There's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the assist by Nash. Abdul-Jabbar's got 6.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
You were talking about Stuckey. He did play well in his first year with the Pacers. Clark, he helped them as a starter and off the bench.
Yeah, really had his most efficient year scoring the ball to date. And more than his scoring and what he brought on the court, his presence in the locker room and professionalism. He talked to the people around the Pacers. He was a breath of fresh air on a team that has a number of fresh air guys.
He's checked in for the Raptors. Pick up by Hill. It's Hill, top the key. There's 1:17 left here in the first quarter. Back to Stuckey. Shot clock at 6. Allen passes to Hill. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Rodney Stuckey, that's good.
For 3.
Toronto leading by 5. Carter outside. Abdul-Jabbar kicks it over to Nash. Can't hit. Hill with some nice D.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
Now, here is Hill. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one, and it's Hill penetrating. Shot is off. So the Raptors will take it the other way. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Nash with it. He's picked up by Hill. Nash dishes to Abdul-Jabbar. Hook shot. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. Abdul-Jabbar's got 8 points. Hill up top, defended by Nash. The 8-footer. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Pacers making a switch here. Indiana shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game. Free throw drops for Hill. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assists. Nash has got 5 assists tonight. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Raptors lead by 6. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. Talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do.
I think I had that all my life. I always had to prove somebody wrong, and, you know, still to this day. That's just the competitiveness that I believe my oldest brother built into me when I was little.
And Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And, you know, that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal scorer.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. What do you guys think about the Raptors here in this one?
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently come up with the block shots like they have defensively.
Well, what happens is shooters begin to start looking for the shot blockers, and it does intimidate them.
Tracy McGrady is out there with Carter. Then there's Sean Kemp. Then it's O'Neal. And it's Rodman in at the small forward. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. Carter, the pass to Kemp. And another basket for Toronto.
You know, Dwayne Casey was once a player at Kentucky, took me and hosted me on my recruiting visit at Kentucky back in 1979. Actually got his coaching start at the school as well.
Ellis kicks to Hill, and it's sent back by O'Neal. Carter outside. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on Monte Ellis. As we were talking about Coach Dwayne Casey, he's found his place in Toronto. Took them, Greg, to back-to-back postseason appearances.
And, you know, it's good to see him finally establishing himself as a head coach. He's really known as a defensive specialist, but once he gets in charge of a team, he'll have them focused on defense and really stresses that in every practice.
Carter hits them both. Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. And here is Ellis. He has 7. Outside Hill. He kicks to George. Offensive rebound, Pacers. Back to Ellis. Pick up by Hill. Ellis dishes to Hill. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Well, for Jordan Hill, something wonderful happened to him last season. The breakthrough he'd been waiting for on his 6th year.
Yeah, Kevin, you know, it had to do, and I think correlated with him getting a chance to start games, and it blew up for him from there. Posted career-high averages across the board.
The first free throw is good.
And getting back to Jordan Hill, everyone had been waiting for this. I mean, greater activity, more aggressiveness, and he puts up career highs in points, rebounds, and assists.
Michael Jordan, he's checked in for Dennis Rodman. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
On the topic of Jordan Hill, hey, there aren't many guys like him with his size who can move that well. He's entering the prime of his career right now. Will he continue to ascend, or will he be content with where he's at? Time will tell.
Now here's Jordan. He has 7. Carter drives in. Inside. And it's McGrady that time on the assist by Carter. McGrady's got the lead up to 8 now for Toronto. Indiana's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. Mahinmi kicks to Ellis. And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And that is good. Stuckey's got 5 now. Toronto leading by 6. McGrady kicks to Jordan. Here's Shaq, and he goes in for the dunk.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
And so here is Indiana. The Raptors getting the bucket. Ellis outside. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. Ellis has got 4 points this quarter.
How about that move? You'll see very few players able to pull off. Just sensational stuff.
Screen by O'Neal. The pass to Kemp. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jordan Hill. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
Some changes for Indiana. Allen comes in for Mahinmi. And it's C.J. Miles in for Rodney Stuckey. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. And then Kemp slams it in.
Kevin, I tell you what, when he gets to the rim like that, he's really hard to stop.
Yeah, he can get up a few notches higher, there's no doubt.
And that's how the game is played on the inside. You can play over the top. You've got a great advantage.
Allen's shot is off.
They've done their part here to run down a lot of missed shots. A solid rebounding effort.
Yeah, energy has been the difference, and they're fighting for every loose ball and getting as good as they get on the inside.
Well, last year, Toronto won their division and got bounced out in the first round. Same result, Clark, they had back in 2014.
Yeah, but, you know, despite that sameness, they were an improved team last season, Kevin. They did a lot of the small things better in total, and I thought looked better and more cohesive as a group.
That's good from O'Neal.
And as you mentioned, the Raptors did improve last season. I mean, they cut back on their turnovers a lot. They were top 3 in the league in terms of taking care of the basketball.
He makes 1 of 2 that time.
And as you said, the Raptors took care of the ball a lot better and as a result had more assists. They also cut back on their fouls, and that was helpful. Little things like that made them much more competitive as a team and helped lead them to those 49 wins.
Clock at 6. And George, here we go. Hits the front of the rim and out. Raptors leading by 9. Carter, the pass to Jordan. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
I mean, even from over here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the officials.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for Toronto.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
And McGrady drops them both.
It's been a nice game for McGrady. He has 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc. Clearly, he's not pleased with all the looks they've given up on the inside, and also to get them to tighten up that defense.
Yeah, and I think he's going to let them know about it. I mean, they're playing some soft interior defense, and you can't win that way. That's a recipe for disaster if you're not going to play with some physicality inside.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Paul George. Coach reminded them that he is supposed to be the key factor tonight, and he still wants to see that happen. Being in the position they're in, probably a smart move to go to the clipboard and switch things up while we're still in the first half. Kevin?
All right, Doris. Here's Jordan. It's rebounded by Indiana. Allen's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Ellis against McGrady. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
First off, look, every year there are all-star game snubs, and perhaps last year Monte Ellis was the big one in the West. Hard to leave him off given the way he played for the Mavs.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Monte Ellis. For Monte not being an all-star, there are a lot of guys that could have made an argument to be there. Monte's was as strong as any.
Yeah, and his own coach said that Monte deserved it more than Dirk, his teammate. And not a shot at Dirk by Carlisle, just Rick expressing how valuable Monte was to the Mavs.
He's off on the second.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Now here is Carter. He's looking for Kemp and finds him. The feed to McGrady. Stolen by Miles. Ellis against Jordan. Ellis dishes to Miles. Allen outside. Ellis outside. Shoots from the high post, and they're able to recover.
Yeah, that's got them over the limit, and it's still early. They have to play smart, or they could give up a lot of free throws.
The Raptors have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
Taking 2 shots.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
Free throw good, Jordan. And so Jordan nails both of them.
Take a look at what Jordan's done. 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
Ellis kicks to Miles. Four on the clock. The drive by Ellis. And the rejection by Abdul-Jabbar. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. And the Raptors with the ball. The 12-point lead, their biggest of the game. This game against Indiana, the first game of the NBA's regular season.
And while they swept the season series against them last year, making it pretty clear how much separation exists between the two teams.
Yeah, Greg, I mean, one is a playoff team. The other, question mark, ... not so much. But things change, and you're only as good as your last win, so we'll see how they handle things tonight.
Now, here is George, following the shot by Tracy McGrady. Ellis, the pass to Miles. The dish to Hill. Kicks it to Allen. Hill sets the screen for Allen. Passes to Miles. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Great D that time from Jordan.
You know what? His finishing ability, not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force.
Now here's Jordan. That one falls, coming off Carter's feed. Carter's got 3 assists now in this one.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Here's Ellis. He's got 10. Jumper off the screen. That doesn't go either for Ellis. Jordan with it. Picked up by Ellis. The drive by Jordan. And again, it's Toronto converting. Pacers trail by 17. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Now here's Ellis. It's George on the wing. Buries the long-range jumper. George has got 12.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
Now Carter feeds to Jordan. Abdul-Jabbar the screen. The drive by Jordan, and that one's good. He's got 16.
You know, obviously, he knows how to finish with some flair.
Hill a screen on McGrady. Shot from 16. Again, the miss by Ellis. Toronto leading by 16. Carter outside. A floater. Abdul-Jabbar. Trying to free himself up. Carter, that's good. Carter's got his second basket. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Ellis dishes to Hill. Screen by Ellis. Hill kicks to Miles. There's a screen. It's tipped. Down low. Here's Allen. Cranes it from 17 feet out. Allen's got 8. Raptors have gone 8 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Really flowing here. Allen against Kemp. That's good.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Here is Miles. After the made shot from Shawn Kemp. Screened by Ellis. Now, here's George. He's got 12. Clock at 4. Tries it from the top of the key. Takes a big high bounce and goes in. That's 12 points for Monte Ellis.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Kemp a screen on George. Jordan the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. Allen with the rebound. Allen's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Ellis kicks to George. Back to Ellis. Puts it up from 17. And it's Toronto with the rebound.
Yeah, but the hand in the face. It's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
Dishes to George. From deep three-point range. Rebounded by Kemp. Kemp's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. McGrady against George. And that one's good. McGrady's got 11 points.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
All right now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
No good on the free throw.
For my man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Yao checked in for Kemp. Rodman comes in for Michael Jordan. And Nash is subbed in for Carter. So neither attempt will fall that time for him.
And guys, talking about Paul George.
Oh, wow. It's a beautiful jam. Now, Clark, that is just ridiculous.
Absolutely filthy.
Oh,
I don't remember
on.
ever seeing a dunk like that in a game. I certainly can't remember the last time I saw
I tell
one.
you what, fellas, you might not see another one like that one for a while.
Now, here is Hill. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. And the wide open shot from Stuckey. Indiana again missing.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it. Gritty and rough. But that's how you win games.
Here's George. Yao Ming picking up that last basket. Abdul-Jabbar against George. Shot from 12. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Abdul-Jabbar's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Now, here is Abdul-Jabbar. They have a 22-point lead. It's the most they've led by. Abdul-Jabbar, the screen. And Nash, here we go. And the rejection by Mahinmi. And that one's good. Just 4 seconds left here in the second. The 3 from George. And that's going to do it. Some good defense down the stretch to end the quarter. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. The Raptors out in front, running away with it. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Casey, obviously it's early in the season, but how would you say this team is shaping up in terms of its chemistry and personnel-wise?
I love our guys. We have a great group of young men that are competing hard, and it feels good because I know our guys are totally engaged and focused and giving us what they have.
Coach, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Doris, and we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And hello again. We have amped up home crowd joining us for our halftime report. Ernie Johnson with the illustrious Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. It's Toronto with the advantage at the half. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Let's start with you, Kenny. What did you think?
Well, they're winning all the 50-50 offensive boards. The rebound goes up. Everybody goes to get it, but only one person's coming down with it. And that's the guy with the extra effort, and it's been them tonight. That's why it's a blowout. These second chance opportunities, and they made the most of them.
Shaq, your take on Indiana.
They're getting completely outworked on the glass. Giving up that many rebounds is how you dig yourself into a hole like this, Ernie. They want to close the gap on the scoreboard. They got to close the gap on the boards. You like that, Ernie? They want to close the gap on the scoreboard. They got to close the gap on the boards. Oh, so good.
Just about time for the third quarter to get underway, and we'll see you again at the Horn.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. What a game we're seeing from Michael Jordan.
And he just went off in those first 2 quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
Here's George. Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Only went Clark 15-26 on the year, and it cost them down the stretch.
It really did, Kevin. I mean, the Pacers had a bumpy year with all of the injuries, particularly with George being out for most of the year. His absence was most noted in those tough road games, I think.
Checking out the group of Frank Vogel to start the second half. Allen is out there with Hill. Then it's Paul George. Then it's Ellis. Hill in at the point guard. Now, here is McGrady, following the miss by Monte Ellis. McGrady with the ball. Picked up by Ellis. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tracy McGrady. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And for the Pacers, perhaps the biggest loss of the season for them was on the road. Couldn't get it done in Memphis on the final day of the season to try and get into the postseason.
Here's Hill. Pick up by Hill. And George kicks to Hill, and that one's good. Hill's got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Pacers.
Well, here's a little factoid about the Pacers on the road last season, guys. They were much better shooting free throws on the road. The difference between their road and home free throw percentage was the largest positive mark in the league. That's kind of strange.
Here's Hill following the basket by Michael Jordan. Right side, George. Up again. It's good on the putback. And that's now 10 points for Allen.
And that's a really deft touch right there, guys.
And he just guided that ball back up and in. You know, Clark, just a fingertip touch on the ball.
Really well done.
And you know what? No need to catch it in a situation like that. He's got terrifically soft hands, and that finish doesn't allow the defense to react.
Solid work on the back end of that play.
Yeah, finished hard with two hands on the stuff.
Yeah, nothing extravagant, guys, but again, no need on that one.
Now here's Ellis. 12 points for him. Hill a screen on McGrady. The tray. Again missing Hill.
Unfortunately, that's been the result for him over and over, guys. He just cannot find the bottom of the basket.
The Pacers have gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. Pass to Ellis. At the elbow, it's Allen. Pick up by Hill. Kicks it out to Ellis. That one rolling around and rims out.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that one.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him to miss that shot.
And Indiana shooting a meager 37% for the game. George dishes to Ellis. Back to George. 5 on the clock. With a step back, and he gets the bucket. George has got 14 points for the game.
And not much breathing room there. The step back move gave him just enough to get it off. You know, no doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
Let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He said their plan was run their offense through Allen. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
All right, Doris, thank you very much.
And just scrapes and claws for that offensive rebound and doesn't take any chances there with the putback.
GA, strong work all around, and the rebound and the stuff both. Wow.
Yep, he stayed with it all the way and got his reward at the end.
And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
Let's pause to take a look at the teams that really made their opposing teams earn their points a season ago. The Pacers fourth.
I mean, they held opponents to so few points that it allowed them to win games even when their offense wasn't clicking.
Third quarter action, and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Allen, a screen on Nash. Hill has the open look. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now, here is McGrady. He's got 13. And now, the fast break. Hill with the ball. It's tipped and stolen by Jordan. Nash against Hill. Nash kicks to Kemp. From 13, and the Raptors tack on 2 more.
And that kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
Pacers have gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. Outside Hill. The shot by George, wide open. That 3 off the mark.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. In a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for the Raptors.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
Another part of their game that's made a difference tonight is all the second chance points they've been able to get.
C.J. Miles, he's checked in for the Pacers. And so he hits both. In the last few years, the Toronto fans have made a strong case for being the loudest in the league. And, Greg, you know, the Air Canada Center can sound like a 60,000 capacity crowd during the playoffs.
It is really unreal. It gives the Raptors a huge advantage here at home. Toronto and Canada will always be hockey first, but they love their Raptors here in the North.
You know, the Raptors were top 5 in attendance last season as well. I mean, fans had plenty to cheer about as the team finished with 27 home wins on the year.
And the Raptor franchise record for home wins is 30, set back in 07. You get the feeling with the way the crowd gets into it, that record won't stand much longer.
And so Jordan nails both of them. Indiana's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. And Miles kicks to George. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
George against Jordan. On the wing, Tracy McGrady. Shot clock at 5. It's stolen by Hill. Hill with it. Guarded now by Nash. Hill passes to Hill. And he lays it straight in. Hill's got 6.
I'm not sure who was supposed to be on him that possession. I mean, apparently neither did the defenders.
The screen from Kemp. Jordan against George. Here's Shaq. Lucky 7 drops in. He's perfect from the floor. 7 for 7.
And I'm not really sure that's the time for the fadeaway, but he sure can make it count.
Hill dishes to George. Hill sets the screen for George. Pass to Miles. George against Jordan. And Paul George, good for the 3. George has got 19 points.
Watch out. Now that he's got his first 3 of the half, there might be more in store.
Shaq with the screen. It's Nash with the drive. Here's Jordan. Not enough on that one as it misses.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
There's the pass to Hill. Lets it go from deep, and that one's good. Hill's got 10.
That's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Let's face it, the defense is a step slow. You've got to take away the airspace.
Now here's Kemp. 10 points for him. Shaq with the screen. From deep, Jordan. Jordan with another miss.
But still, eventually you got to feel like he'll start knocking those down again.
Good chance here for George. And it's Shaq with the rebound. Raptors leading by 16. The drive by Jordan. Count the bucket. Jordan's got 6 points in the quarter.
Excellent assist there. Just led him to the perfect spot.
Hill kicks to Miles. It's stolen by McGrady. Fast break, Toronto. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul. It'll go to the line. Block shots, a stat that sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Big-time shot blockers aren't always elite defenders. And then the opposite is true. Their block shot totals don't quite capture that great impact they really have defensively.
You know, and Akeem the Dream, certainly one of the greatest all-around players to have ever played the game. An endless array of offensive moves down low, no doubt. And defensively, his numbers speak for themselves. I mean, almost 4,000 career blocks, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, just a legendary low-post defender.
The first one falls, and the Raptors with some changes. Yao, he's checked in for O'Neal. Abdul-Jabbar comes in for Sean Kemp. And it's Carter in for Nash. Indiana also making some changes. Mahimi's checked in for Allen. Solomon Hill comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's subbed in for C.J. Miles. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
They got to keep fighting their way to the line, guys. This half, it's been nothing but success for them there.
Yeah, taking full advantage from the charity stripe. They've yet to miss here in the second.
Now here is Hill. He's got 10. Rodney Stuckey on the wing. Hill a screen on Carter. 5 to shoot. And it's Hill. That time the assist by Stuckey. Hill's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Raptors leading by 17. Jordan the pass to Carter. He feeds it to McGrady. It's Jordan on the wing. McGrady sets a screen for Jordan. Carter up top. He's guarded by Stuckey. And it's Carter missing.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 3rd in opponent field goal percentage. 4th in opponent points per game. And they also showed up in the top 5 in team rebounds. That means everybody's doing their job on the boards. This is a very strong rebounding team.
And you mentioned their ranking in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Such an important stat. They did not give up the easy looks. You really had to work for whatever you got.
Now here is Carter following the shot by Kareem. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That's on Rodney Stuckey.
Well, you know, one season in the books with the NBA's new replay center, and so far, so good. I mean, the replays are averaging about 45 seconds apiece, and getting the officials the angles they need quickly to make the right call.
And with the new replay center, the league also going for more transparency. People expect it now, Clark, and they're officiating.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. Evaluating the most scrutinized calls and non-calls of the games in those last 2 minutes, that's a positive. Things are continuing to change, I think, for the better in that regard.
Carter hits them both. Here's Hill. 10 points for him. Hill up top. In the corner, Stuckey with it. Shot clock at 6. And here's Hill for 3. Reverses.
Raptors foul. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's his first personal foul.
The Pacers have shot the ball pretty well from the line, going 8 of 11.
Taking 2 shots.
And he makes the first. Both free throws good from Hill.
So far in the game for Hill, he has 8 points and also 3 nice steals.
McGrady with the ball. 13 points in the game. It's Abdul-Jabbar, high post. McGrady outside. He dishes it to Abdul-Jabbar. That's good. Great play set up by T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. McGrady's got 3 assists tonight. Pacers trail by 19. Pick up by Hill. And it's Hill penetrating. The shot is off.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. They're really pushing them around. Straight bully ball.
That's a precision shot. You've got to be precise. No room for error on the floater.
Outside Hill. He kicks it to Stuckey. They set the pick. Hill dishes to Hill. Some nice passing here by Indiana. And that one's good. That's 10 points for Hill. Raptors leading by 19. McGrady kicks to Carter. Yao with a screen on Stuckey. The shot by Carter. Nobody around. Can't make good off the screen. Indiana's gotten the three-pointer to fall to the tune of 50% here in the third quarter. They've made 3 of 6. Pick up by Hill. Outside Hill. Just 5 on the clock. Off the screen. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Raptors have gone better than 53% from the floor since halftime. Shooting 8 of 15. With some arc, no good. And Indiana will come the other way. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
There's a good screen. For 3. Again, missing Hill.
Not a whole lot going down for him at this point. He just can't buy a break.
Carter outside. Back to McGrady. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. McGrady's got 15.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
There's 18 seconds left in the third. Here's Ellis. 12 points for him. Hill, a screen on Carter. There's Ellis with the 3 ball. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. The Raptors out in front, opening up a huge gap. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Toronto leading by 21. We got Nash. Shaquille O'Neal is out there with Sean Kemp. And it's Michael Jordan. And it's McGrady in at the 2. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors. Now here's Nash. Allen with the rebound. Allen's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
And it seems every season we see a player try and play through an injury. Sometimes it provides a boost with heroics, but it can lead to serious damage long term. It's a common practice we see, and some guys are pretty cavalier about it.
Now here's Kemp. O'Neal passes to Jordan. Screen by O'Neal, and they double up Jordan. 6 on the shot clock. And the rejection by Mahimi, and they'll keep possession.
The defense keeps coming up short. Just no solution for Sean Kemp. 10 points and 1 rejection in this game, too.
And was it a good one? Really, one of their highlights of the game defensively.
At the line for your Raptors, Sean Kemp. At the line for 2.
No good on the free throw. He hits the second from the line. Fourth quarter just getting started. 1 minute in the books. Stuckey dishes to Allen. To the inside. Ellis kicks to Mahimi. That one off the back iron and out. Greg, a lot of NBA players do play through injury. Last year, for instance, LaMarcus Aldridge played most of the regular season with a thumb injury that required surgery. Mike Conley, Clark Kellogg, we saw in the postseason play with the mask with a facial fracture.
Yeah, and it's hard to make a blanket statement if it's good or bad for guys to do that. You just hope the player heeds the doctor's advice and doesn't do any further damage by playing him.
Not his best game, but they're still getting it done collectively.
Outside, George. Ellis against McGrady. Just 5 to shoot. Ellis, the pass to Allen. From deep. Ellis can't get it to go.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
McGrady dishes to Jordan. Shaq screen on George. Misses the 3. And for the Pacers, they're shooting under 40% all in all for the game. And the shot is good from Stuckey.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
The Raptors have gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. Nash kicks to McGrady. And Ellis with the block. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. In the corner, Stuckey with it. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Kemp's got 5 rebounds tonight. Jordan kicks to Kemp. Nash outside. Here's O'Neal. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Really an extraordinary game for O'Neal. 15 points and 3 denials.
No idea we'd see a performance like this one today.
The only way to describe it in my vocabulary is dominance.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good.
You know, one thing we saw a lot of last season during the playoffs was the hack-a-shack plan, pretty much purposely fouling a poor free throw shooter. A lot of differing opinions on it, as it wasn't fun to watch for the viewers, but many feel it's a legitimate part of the game if it works.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Valanciunas, he's checked in for Kemp. DeRozan comes in for Michael Jordan. And Terrence Ross is subbed in for Tracy McGrady. So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. The hack-a-shack or the hack-a-Jordan or the hack-a-whatever being a focus of the playoffs last season. We saw it up close and personal. It opened up a debate, Greg, on whether or not it should be allowed. What do you think?
You know, it's a touchy subject. I remember last summer, or spring, I should say, the commissioner touched upon it. You know, one of the concerns is, do you want to change a rule for an entire league when it basically affects 2 players? And so it's something that you got to be sensitive to. But to your point, the fans don't want to see that ugly style of basketball.
It's boring. It slows the game down.
And that 4th foul, guys, might force him to scale back the aggression from a defensive standpoint. He does not need, nor does the team need, number 5.
Some changes for Toronto. Sean Kemp, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Jordan comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And Tracy McGrady subbed in for Ross. Kemp against Allen. That's good.
Just no chance for the smaller defender to block that shot.
He's really, really good at using his size to free himself up for those mid-range jumpers. A master at it.
Now, here is Hill. The feed to George.
Remember, for a long time, flopping was like the #1 concern in the NBA. I mean, it still happens a lot, but the rules have curbed it quite a bit. We have seen less and less flopping the last few years.
Now, here is Hill, following the miss by Michael Jordan. And Hill is good for 3.
And that's his 2nd triple of the half. None for him going into the break.
McGrady passes to Nash. Good. And it's McGrady who picks up the assist. Some doubt at how the flopping fines would have worked. Overall, there have been less egregious flops for the better in the NBA.
Yeah, and there will always be room for embellishment, but I like the fines because it really does minimize the number of extravagant flops. Guys have adjusted, and they're not laying down as much as they used to.
Shots good by Ellis.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Nash kicks to Shaq. The dish now to Jordan. And the ball travels out of bounds. Was last touched by George.
Toronto ball.
The Raptors making a switch here. Lowry's checked in. To the paint. Here's O'Neal. Good work defensively by Turner.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket.
Now here's Buttinger. Here's Whittington. Kemp with the rebound. Kemp's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Kemp a screen on Turner. And Lowry has it in the corner. Nailed from three-point land.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
You know, another point of contention between every NBA fan is whether or not the age restriction is a good thing. Some want it increased, others want it gone altogether. You know, for me, it's a matter of whether or not you as a team feel that that player can make an impact on your roster.
And he knocks down the first one. And there are arguments, Clark, on both sides for the NBA and the age restriction it has currently right now. Having one seems to have helped the level of play overall, but I think there's some improvements that can be made.
Yeah, with the D-League coming into its own, though, Kevin, the discussion has opened up again. NBA teams used to not have a place for high school players. The D-League could serve in that regard now, but having a restriction is something that I think has helped the NBA. I actually would like to see it be 20 years old.
Me too. Now here's Rodman. Kicks it to Jordan. And the 3 off target.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
And it's Hill penetrating. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
Tries it from 9. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Clark, one thing about Kyle Lowry, he has a bulldog mentality. We saw that from his days at Villanova.
No question about that, and I love that about him. He's very simple, not really flashy, just consistently beats the rock. He wears his opponents down.
Free throw drops for Lowry.
And talking about Lowry, going to Toronto was a godsend for him. I mean, he had clashed with a number of coaches early in his career. His hard-headedness had been working against him. But in Toronto, he learned how to buy into a system and save the wrath for his opponent.
He doesn't get the second one.
And for Lowry, he's been on fire the past couple of seasons. He's shown toughness, leadership, and the instinct to make winning plays on the court at both ends.
Here is Miles. 6 to shoot. Hill kicks to Hill. Again missing Hill. Toronto's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Lowry dishes to Nash. And a wide open look for Jordan. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Nash has got his assist totals piling up, 11 now for him. And here is Hill. To the paint, it's tipped. Hill trying to break free. Hill, no good.
Wow, what a rough second half for him shooting the basketball. Maybe you adopt a pass-first mentality at this point.
That is good.
And they're really in a good position here, thanks in part to the way he's been able to score the basketball.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Hill lays it in without an inch of room around him. Hill's got 10 points in just the second half. The Raptors have gone 7 of 15 from the floor here in the fourth, right around 46-47%. Nash, the pass to O'Neal, the shot by Yao, and there are the Raptors with another bucket.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
And it's something we haven't seen much of at the opposite end of the floor. And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season, came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Shaq. Rodman comes in for Michael Jordan. And it's Carter in for Nash.
You know, I can think of one way to describe George Hill. It's the culmination of several attributes. I mean, he comes from the school of Popovich, plays under control, always in the right place defensively. The way I describe him is just steady.
Now, here's Lowry, just 4 to shoot. Lets it go, and another basket for Toronto.
And when he breaks out the crossover, you can be sure he's going to leave somebody in his wake.
An interesting thing about George Hill, he was traded from the Spurs to the Pacers a few years back. Many people were surprised the Spurs would even trade a valuable veteran when they were trying to win a championship. But who did they trade him for? Kawhi Leonard. A pretty good deal.
Well, you know, Hill is really solid. He knocks down open shots, can run the offense or play off the ball equally well. I think he's a terrific combo guard. Gives you a little bit of everything and does it in a professional way. And that's typically what attracts him to other teams.
Yeah, good.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Hill kicks to Hill. It's Miles atop the key. No good. Good work defensively by Carter.
Ill-advised shot there, Clark.
Yeah, exactly. That was lower than low percentage.
And guys, something new for the NBA is the HGH testing that's been put in place. It's something the league hasn't had too many issues with or even accusations, but better to stamp it out early. And hard to argue that it should be in place.
Here's Whittington. Yao Ming picking up that last basket. Pick up by Hill. Lowry against Hill.
2 minutes left. 2.
There's the pick. And the rejection by Valanciunas. And there's 1:45 left in the fourth. To the middle. Outside for Lowry. The 19-foot shot. And the shot falls short this time. And with the HGH testing, it's done in every major sport. Seems like the right thing to do for the NBA. Just make sure everyone is on a level playing field, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think the punishment will be fair. First positive gets you a 20-game ban. The second one, 45.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Raptors.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And, Greg, we know familiarity breeds contempt. I would expect things to become more heated as these teams face each other going forward.
And one of the league's truly special talents making his mark. Once again, another great performance for Jordan. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
Vince Carter the bucket on the assist from Valanciunas.
Well, they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
Yeah, you know, it was a real solid performance for them in a lot of areas. I mean, they should be proud of their work tonight.
Mahimi dishes to Miles. The wing jumper off target. And so Toronto takes this one, but by a big margin. They poured it on tonight, Clark. A dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
I don't think they have anything but positives to take away from this win. Offensively, defensively, every aspect of the game, it all went right for them.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kyle, how big a factor was the defense you guys played tonight?
You know, we focused in a lot on defense in the film session we did before the game, so we had to reemphasize the things that we worked on in the last couple of days of practice.
It seemed to play out for you, Kyle. Thank you. Kevin, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. That concludes the first game of the NBA season. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. And standing by for the postgame show, let's head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Now let's take this opportunity to check out our Jordan player of the game. He really set the tone for them in the first half, and it seemed to just help carry them forward from that point on.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. Wow. You get jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
Well, getting up over the 30-point barrier is never easy under any circumstances. He tore holes in the defense. They couldn't figure out what to do with him. Every play they ran for him, he executed it nearly perfectly.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.
Hey, boy, I'm from the land till I die. Till I die. On the east side till I die. Till I die. Rocking that wine and gold till I die.